Something that's crazy and something we don't really put too much effort into is as men, we don't talk, bro. And I understand why. A lot of women make us feel less than when we do express ourselves, right? But just because they do that don't mean we can't go talk to somebody else, right? A lot of people, when it comes to being black, we really don't care to talk to therapists or anything like that, right? And what I realized is that as I grew up, I had a bad attitude problem. So talking and voicing things out was so much more helpful to me than keeping it in and bottled up and letting it lash out in different ways, right? We don't talk enough. That's all it is. And not necessarily if you don't feel like you can talk to anybody, you can talk to yourself. There are certain questions and certain things you can ask yourself just to like get to the root cause of a lot of things, right? To the point where when my therapist finally retired, I was in like 11th grade, and from then on, I had to figure out ways that I had to like cope and figure things out for myself. And what I started doing was talking to myself more, right? A lot of the things that I discovered on my own happened to become strengths in my life, right? Because now that I discovered the now that I discovered the power of talking to myself, I realized that, oh, I always had this power or this understanding in myself the whole time. I just had to go self discover it. I had to go like dive deep and discover it, right? So a lot of people will sit here and just let things linger without really trying to get to the bottom of things themselves. So if you let things just linger and not trying to work on it in your own light, in your own way, you will end up being this person that think the person that talks to themselves is crazy because you don't do it. And because you don't do it, you think that you cannot be helped unless you pay for it or unless you give your problems to somebody that don't really care about you. But it's not really that. It's really just understanding that when you have a problem that you got to work out, you have to understand exactly what it is, exactly what's going on, like have full clarity on what's going on. But when you get clarity, you start to realize that, oh, it was never everybody else. It was always me. It was always me that's tripping. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you'll come to the fact that it was them, and I'm justified in what I feel and how things is going about. But you will start to like approach things with a different mindset, approach things with a different attitude. Like everything doesn't need this big old blow up reaction. Like if you can control your emotions, control your reactions, you can see through things. You can be like, okay, this person is doing this, or they're like this, or they're um pushing this narrative or whatever's going on, and it could help you understand how to move around them. It can help you understand how to not become so attached to them being part of your life if this seems like something you need to get away from, like the negativity, the energy that's draining you and all that type of stuff. Like it's times where you listen to that stuff, you be around these people and you locked in forever, and so much of it start to become you because you're around it so much that it's getting ingrained in you. It's getting ingrained in your spirit, your mindset. You may think different, but because they are just spewing this out on a consistent basis, you are like it's becoming like part of the mixture inside your heart, inside your being, right? So you have to find ways to escape people without trying to be so harsh with everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't need a crazy ass reaction. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the weakest thing anybody could do in their life is somebody do you wrong, you being put in a certain situation, you think every single situation needs this crazy amount of energy towards it and need to be talked about for the rest of your days. Like, nah, bro, if it's done, if it's over, dismiss yourself. Dismiss yourself. Just simply dismiss yourself, bro. You ain't gotta be out here bad mouthing people and putting people down. I think that's one of the things that people always look to as if it's the right thing to do, when in actuality you just make yourself look crazy. And when in actuality you kind of just putting yourself in a worse position. And we're not in here to put ourselves in worse positions. We're in here to identify what's going on and move around that shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We want to experience more of what we want in this life, not be stuck in cycles and loops of everybody else and their feelings and how they feel about certain things and how they going about everything. Fuck them. We got to focus on us. We got to focus on the betterment of us. You have a kingdom to build. You have an empire to build. You have kids to take care of. You got to be positive in the mindset for the kids. You got people that's watching you that you won't even realize that's looking up to you and needing that those answers and that guidance from you. So why are you leading them astray? Why are you so emotional in your head and your heart? Like, let that shit go. Let that shit die, bro. What I'm saying is, you really gotta move like a boss at all times. A lot of things is going to affect you. Is going to feel a certain way and all that type of stuff. Cool, but how are you going to move in any kind of state of power if you don't got control of yourself? That's all I'm saying. I'm realizing a lot of people really don't got control of themselves. So it brings me back to the talking. Like, how I gained control of myself was talking things through. If it wasn't with myself, it was with my therapist. If it wasn't with my therapist or myself, it was with my mother. If it wasn't with them, it was with a couple friends, just getting different perspectives. But then I start to realize, oh, when I talk things out with other people, they will start to hit you with their self biases, if that makes sense. I don't know what that means, but they believe certain things and they're kind of just spewing out their mouth what they would do in a situation or what they wouldn't take or how they see things, right? And that's cool to a point because at the end of the day, we're not trying to get their take on things or let them know what's going on with us to get their perspective and what they would do. We want them to look at things on this outside level, right? We want them to look at things from a non-judgmental place. But people are so stuck in their own heads that they don't even realize what's going on, right? If you my girlfriend, one of the things that she would do is she'll come and tell me stuff and I'll be like, the stuff that you're telling me, it don't seem like the person was wrong in what they was doing. Maybe you just didn't understand because you looking at it from your you locked in on your perspective. You're not trying to see what they thought, how they thinking, why they moved that certain way. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You just want to be right. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I killed a long time ago was that ego and that need to be right at all things, right? I'm realizing, hey, you gonna think different than a lot of people, right? So who are you to get mad and explode over people not understanding how you see things if you're not explaining it the right way? So if I'm explaining the right way and they don't comprehend, they have a comprehension problem. If I'm not explaining the right way and they can comprehend that I'm not explaining things the right way, it's my problem. Maybe I didn't explain myself right. A lot of the times I hear people arguing and fussing and complaining to each other, but when I really dive in, I be like, wait a minute. We're both saying the same exact thing, but we're just saying it in different ways. We agree, bro. We agree. Why are we doing this to each other? We agree. We're on the same wavelength. We agree. That's all need to be said. We agree. So knowing that we agree, why are we still keeping up this fence, this guard of needing to be right about how we see it? See what I'm saying? There's so many different people in the world, and we all going to see things in our own light, in our own way. We're all going to see it from a different perspective. We all had different experiences. Some may be similar, but it's all different based on who we are, where we from, and all that type of stuff. But you got to understand, like, at the end of the day, bro, a lot of us agree with most of the stuff. Most of the stuff that we say, we just don't know how to really express ourselves. So, learning how to express yourself the right way, learning how to really sit with yourself and talk through yourself, talk through your things, talk through what you're going through, and really get to the root cause of every single thing, what you really feel like, and all that type of stuff. It will help you out so much more, bro, when you have clarity over your mind, what you think, what you're saying, what you're doing. When you have clarity, bro, everything starts to open up so much more. A lot of people out here don't seek clarity. They seek fuzziness. They just seek being right. And they can't even really explain themselves to where somebody can comprehend why they're saying what they're saying or how they why they feel what they feel. But then when you get to the root cause of that stuff, it's just more BS, bro. You just want to be right. And you're afraid to be wrong in any kind of case. And I don't like this shit. I don't like this shit at all, bro. Because when I finally broke that, when I finally was like, oh, I'm cool with being wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I don't have to be right about everything. I think it's because we was trained in school that we have to get answers right. We always have to make the right decision. So if you always got to make the right decision, a lot of people will end up making no decision because they are afraid that whatever they do pick is going to end up being the wrong decision. When in actuality, the way you get to the right decision is taking the best concentrated, I guess you can call it a guess for lack of better words, the best concentrated guess, educated guess that you can with the information that you have at the moment. This is what you're gonna do. And if it go wrong, okay, cool. We could just change it later on. We could figure it out later on. But these are lessons. These not losses. We've been so trained that a L is a loss and that it sets us back and it diminishes everything that we've been doing or had going on, when in actuality L's are lessons. We are being taught in this predicament. We are being taught in this very moment. Like we can be better at everything if we just simply just kill that ego and find clarity within ourselves. Find clarity with a person that's non-biased when it comes to what we're discussing. My non-biased person was my longtime therapist, Johnny Jenkins. My non-biased person was, man, just talking to God. But that was through myself. Me talking to myself is talking to God. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say, man, talking things out is the best form of anything you can do. Talk your stuff out, bro. With yourself, with a therapist. I really don't want to talk things out with friends and all these other people because you know what I'm saying? People have their own things that they stuck on and own ways of how they see things. I appreciate their points, but that's not going to have me make my final decision. A lot of the things that my friends say, it'd be cool. A lot of the things my mom say, my brother say, and all that stuff, it'd be cool. But then when I look at it from a non-judgmental perspective, oh, y'all was trying to like put the situation in the terms of I'm right for how I feel, but maybe in certain situations I am wrong. Maybe in certain situations I do need to grow more. I do need to understand what's really going on. I didn't comprehend well. So sometimes it's me that gotta change, bro. Maybe you too. Peace.